And so we were just on a tour and listening to a lengthy and really well-written, wonderful audiobook, which is also a book called The Burglary. And it was written by the same Washington Post journalist who originally received the files that were liberated from the FBI office in Media, Pennsylvania in 1971, which revealed COINTELPRO to the world. And 40 years later, the same journalist, whose name I should remember because we just read her book, but yeah, I'm not so good with names, but unless I put it in a song. But the same journalist then sort of accidentally discovered who the actual burglars were. They had kept it themselves a secret for all that time until they kind of accidentally spilled the beans, and then she was like, okay, well, now that I know who you are, can I write a book about y'all and like interview you? And so it was really wonderful, fascinating book on many levels. But it's a story that, hopefully a lot of people in this room and a lot of other people are familiar with, the counterintelligence program, the extent of the FBI's program of dirty tricks and assassinations and infiltration and division, and divide and rule, and what they've been doing for the past more than a century. But as time goes on and we get further and further from the 1970s, I increasingly realized that there's a heck of a lot of people who have never heard of COINTELPRO. And I don't think it's possible to function in this society, especially on the left, in any capacity, to be an activist in any capacity if you don't know about COINTELPRO, because it's still going on. And so, you could easily fall victim to a lot of stuff if you don't know it's happening, if you don't know the level of duplicity and depravity that the FBI will stoop to in order to keep us all fighting with each other. It's they know no limits. The U.S. war on Vietnam is about a decade on, with millions of lives already gone. At home, the war was on dissent. In practical form, what that meant was billy clubs and prison time. But beyond that, the feeling of a microphone under every hat, the sense of being watched, not knowing who to trust. Some folks in Philadelphia decided that they must get to the bottom of it and to find out why they formed the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI. They were tired of the secrecy, the men who hide in vans with headphones, sitting inside, tired of the paranoia that seemed so on the rise. Professor Davidon was intent on removing the disguise. He brought a group together, and they began to learn the skills that would be needed to carry out a plan to commit a burglary. See what's in those drawers if they liberate all the boulders piled on that floor. In the town of Media, they risk everything to try the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI. Forsyth became a locksmith, as good as anyone. The burglars carried out their plan as it had been spun. Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali were having their big fight. Hundreds of millions of people were watching that night, including anyone who might have noticed what was going down in that sleepy little town. They made off with the files and they got away. Went off to the countryside to see what they might say. They started raiding at the farm beneath the Pennsylvania sky. The Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI. What they found was shocking, things everyone needed to know. This was when the world first learned of COINTELPRO, that the FBI had agents on every campus in the country. A system of informants so very like the Stasi. A police state on a mission to undermine and neutralize, to create fear and paranoia by spreading rumors and lies. They had 1,000 files
with stories of the way the dirty tricks campaigns across the USA, the assassinations carried out by the American spy, the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI. The burglars uncovered a story so old, none of them were alive when it began to be told. Since the FBI was formed, right up until now, the documents documented exactly how the secret police carry out their secret deeds with distracting and destroying, their tactics and their creed. The tip of the iceberg was all they really got, unlike the millions and millions of files which have not ever seen light of day, except by and by the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI. Director would haltingly admit if it wasn't for the burglars, it would still remain a secret. What they won't acknowledge, though, is the fact, regardless of how the spy leaders react according to the rules of their nefarious game, all they did was change the name. And if you're wondering where the agents are in the modern day, just log on to social media and see what they say. If someone's leading a smear campaign, we just might know why, because the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI. The Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI.